The Lost Cryptids Conservatory, where we will shatter your reality to bring you closer to the truth.
All right, guys, welcome back to another live show. I'm Blake, and this is the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. This is actually the late show. Being a father of kids and stuff, it's easier to do the show after bedtime. So, hopefully everyone's doing good tonight. Hopefully everyone who watches this after the fact is having a good time and day while they're watching this. We're going to have a kind of a chill night, a fun night. I'm going to put the link in the chat here in a little bit. I may have some people come on and talk about Bigfoot or whatever else, and just have a good time. So it's kind of about it. Yeah. So anyways, it's been an interesting week. Reviewing some evidence and going through some audio stuff and the video evidence that we have coming from the Lost Cryptids Conservatory's expedition to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan with a whole host of other researchers from around the U.S. We had the Sea Squatchers, we had Robert Kreider, Adam Davies was there, and of course my good buddy Jason Kenzie from British Columbia. He's an animal photojournalist, and then he has the Searching for Sasquatch documentary series. He's actually getting some awards for it, and it's doing really, really good. So can't wait for the third one to come out because it's going to feature the Lost Cryptids expedition and some more stuff that he's done in Canada, which is very interesting from what I've been told by him. So excellent stuff. Definitely someone you want to keep track of. And yep. Yeah, I was watching that while I can and stuff, of course. I had it on the background. I couldn't keep it in track, but in chat, but I did say hi. Bigfoot Odyssey and just ended. It was a good show, actually, this time around, and talked a little bit about the Florida expedition, which will be happening soon. And getting prepared for that, of course, working out, training, taking hikes, and making sure that you got to be ready for this heat environment, different environment than what Michigan's currently experiencing. But it's not going to be too bad. Down in Florida, it's pretty unique. It definitely has a lot of different challenges than in Michigan and probably a lot of other states up in the north. But one thing remains the same is the Sasquatch, and they are there, and they're doing pretty much similar things that we have observed and experienced here in Michigan. So it's honestly just moving to a new environment, a different environment, but doing pretty much the same. They're doing pretty much the same tactics and getting just as close and just as stealthy. But we got a great area picked out, great area that we've already been to, and again, touching on what Bigfoot Odyssey, Care Arnold, their show they just got done with. This time around we're going to be more experienced. We're going to be more prepared and ready for it. Way better equipment. But personally, I think I know I'm going to be more prepared for it. Working out, exercising, of course, going out in the woods, hiking, learning wildlife to identify snakes, different reptiles, and exotics and stuff too, because they do have exotic animals in Florida that are on the loose. So it's good to study what kind of exotic animals are potentially out there. And we do know from actual government sources and scientists, researchers, that there's definitely monkeys out there, a pretty good population. And there's supposedly chimps and possibly orangutan groups somewhere in the Floridas and stuff. I don't know exactly the exact location, but they seem to think that there's some small pocket populations out there. And of course, all the zoos and stuff from the hurricanes that get destroyed, and a lot of animals sometimes get released. And we do know that from a couple different hurricanes that did in fact happen. So yes, and hopefully everyone else who's going to the Bigfoot Odyssey expedition is going to be preparing and stuff, and going to bring their A game and be professional and actually work. We're not there to camp and to have a camp out and have fun. And well, that I'm sure is going to be definitely happening, having fun, being with all the other people and researchers. We're there to do work. It's not a weekend vacation. It's like a job, a very intense general labor job. And so it comes with 10, 12-hour days, 14-hour days, even, because you're staying up all day and all night, and you're doing a lot of physical exertion. It's hot. There's a lot of bugs. I mean, it does wear down on people a lot. But again, if you're preparing yourself, and you have prepared yourself basically the whole year, you should be ready for it. I definitely feel like I'm ready for it, and definitely more ready than last year, because I know what to prepare for and what I expect of the environment. And so it's not too bad if you in Florida, if you've worked outside ever in the summer and some hard work outside, you can get pretty used to the heat and stuff. So going to Florida, the heat wasn't really too bad for me, because I work in the arborist industry doing tree work. So doing that all summer, and then getting out there in the spring, it wasn't too bad. So, but it was hot. And if you're not prepared for it, if you're not, acclimated and used to it, it does wear on you a lot more. And you don't realize it either until you're already really drained, and then you kind of need a rest, because if you push yourself anymore, you could, you can get hurt, you can get heat stroke and stuff like that. So, yeah, Robert Kreider, he was on the expedition, and great researcher, man. He's a book of knowledge, basically. He really does know his stuff, and had a lot of gizmos and gadgets that he brought along. And we did, in fact, actually try out his new parabolic dish and tested it and field tested it, and it is Lost Cryptids Conservatory approved. So, yeah, we actually got some howls and stuff on his recorder. We got some on my recorder. On the expedition, we actually had some knocks and some actual long, drawn-out responses that are pretty good. We also caught eye shine on different cameras and in different spots. And we also, thanks to Jason Kenzie, have 4K footage of mine and his actual encounter for about 20 minutes of us seeing them, going up close to them, hearing them around us, and we did in fact capture some eye shine on that film that is ridiculously close to where we're standing. And so, you guys are gonna be able to see that and be the judge if you see it and you believe that's what's actually happening. And it's either it's happening or it's not. And from our reactions and Jason's body language when he sees the thing cross the trail, his body language doesn't lie, and there's fact in that. So you'll be able to see exactly what kind of emotions he was going through at that time, and see exactly how close they are, because they actually got very close, and it is very troublesome. But unfortunately, you don't see, when we are viewing them, you don't see that. The camera is not able to pick that up, but you can see us, and you can see some other interesting things. Unfortunately, the IR light was not bright enough to capture these two Sasquatches that actually showed themselves at nighttime. So, but that video is not coming out until about February, actually. Jason's going to drop his documentary first, and we'll wait a little bit, and then we'll drop the video here and go over through evidence and stuff and actually take a look deeper into it. So I think you guys are going to find these videos pretty interesting. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. We got more videos of the Michigan Bigfoot Conference by the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. It could be dropping probably here in a couple days. I'll drop another video of another speaker. You guys can look forward to those dropping each and every week. Taking a look at the chat, got a lot of stuff here. yeah, right. We need one of you guys to jump on one's back and get the video. No, no. I don't think that would ever happen until, it's like with primates and gorillas and stuff, it takes a while, but people have been able to hug gorillas and not ride them, but are able to do certain things that most people would never attempt to do or try, or could do without actually building this relationship and getting these things used to. So, but I do think it's possible that we could get them to come out of the tree line during daylight on camera to show themselves to you. I think that is something that they do to people for a variety of reasons. Mostly, I think they would do it to scare someone, because through observation and their experience through generations, seeing their presence itself is enough to scare people away. And so they, I'm sure, realize that they scare us. I mean, the way they look scares us. So they can, most of the time, I think they would do that to scare you, but also to let you know that they're there. That it is it's a sign, and it's a thought out tactic to show yourself. So yeah, there's interesting things coming through, and we got some other stuff that never got released, and we'll be making its way to the light and stuff. We're this channel in our group, the Lost Cryptids Conservatory, is more focused on getting out there and getting the evidence and not, um, you know, being more entertainment and stuff and just flying by the seat of our pants and making videos about, well, whatever. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't have anything actually in it that makes it worthwhile. So we're more focused on getting the evidence, showing the evidence, and getting out there and doing the real work, not making a video about anything out there at any given point. Um, and it is boring. A lot of stuff. A lot of times when you're out there, nothing does happen. I mean, it's always fun, but there's generally not much that happens. Usually, it does take time, and there seems to be patterns of movement and of them doing different stuff in the area. They're not always going to be in this exact spot every single time you go there, but in general, they could be very close by. And then, from what I've experienced, you know, every 2 weeks, it might be once a week, could be more than 2 weeks. But about generally around 2 weeks' time, they seem to circle back into specific areas, or at least this one area that I've researched, and another area when I was younger was about the same thing. About 2 weeks' time, they always used to come back and they would hang out for a couple days, and then they would be gone. And then what I think they're doing is rotating across the landscaping and going to different spots with different animals, different plants, different hiding spots, and also um, traveling to find and integrate with different groups. Socializing, having their relationship with different Sasquatch groups, and however that relationship and whatever takes place, they're doing that. Having meeting up, having gatherings. I mean, we actually don't know exactly how these groups operate in and of themselves. The family unit. We basically understand that, but like gorillas and chimpanzees, they have huge troops and huge groups. We don't know exactly, how their groups operate, how big they get, how do they socially interact with other groups. Is it like chimpanzees? Is it like gorillas? Is it more humanistic type of style of meeting and talking and communicating instead of the alpha male is going to fight the other alpha male, then whoever wins gets to rule both groups, basically. Or, like the animal kingdom, usually the strongest prevails and all that. We don't know if there's more of a actual social talking structure, or if it's dominated by brute force and strength. So like most of like the animal kingdom is, and like humans were basically up until the modern times. The strongest survived, and everyone else, bent the knee. So some thoughts. What exactly is that relationship? But we don't know. We don't know yet. It's going to take a while to actually observe that, film and observe it. If you compare research to like gorilla research or chimpanzee research, and you look at the time it took for like Jane Goodall to get into these groups and able to get the research done, I mean, it takes a while. Now you're trying to do that with a Sasquatch, which it's took us 50 years from filming Patty, and we're basically about the same spot of we don't really know too much, although we do know through a lot of observations, but we've never had this face-to-face interactions of them presenting themselves in like gorillas, as of us being able to sit by them and observe them. This has not happened. So, hopefully it doesn't take another 50 years to even begin to the point of them showing themselves and comfortably filming them. But I would like to, hopefully speed up the process and be able to get them comfortable and observe them and their natural environments, doing their natural daily routines on camera. So not 50 more years of these fleeting glimpses that we catch on camera. Um, it's just not good enough to prove it, and it's really dissatisfying in my own personal thought that how long it's taking to get any kind of evidence, let alone proving it, and but actually moving past that and observation of the species. Um, so yeah. I just posted a video of basically this guy grew up with gorillas. His family kind of researched gorillas, or they didn't really talk about that. But when his daughter was 18 months old, he basically did an experiment and put her in gorilla cages. Gorillas that he's worked with and stuff like that, and to show that these gorillas in particular are not savage beasts and wouldn't really harm the child, and they didn't. They actually played, and they actually formed a pretty good bond and relationship with this child. Uh, and they did a number of things and playing and holding, and actually, the comment was, it kind of brought out their motherly instincts and stuff. Of course, the kid goes to school and goes away, and they did another experiment where I can't remember. It was at least 12 years later. That little, no, it was more than that because she was older, but she went back out into the wild in some of these spots, and actually because those gorillas got released, and the gorillas recognized her through her smell, is what the researchers are guessing, but and they accepted her and they hugged her and they didn't want her to leave. But it showed that the gorillas remembered this toddler and recognized that toddler was now grown up and the same individual, and they had the same emotions, and just truly amazing stuff. And so, the possibility that Bigfoot is more intelligent than a gorilla, but possibly has the same or more better memory, and has could smell and sniff and do a lot of things that are more than a gorilla. Gorillas are very smart, and they can learn sign language. Of course, we know that. It just begs the question, how different are they from gorillas? How different are they from us? Are they their own type of unique species with their own unique intelligence and stuff like that? Or are they more human? More people think they're more towards ape, I would say. So it'd be interesting to know and observe that, and hopefully answer some of these questions and not take another 50 years, because I'll be an old man, and if we're still stuck in this same cycle of this, nothing's really happening, then that's going to beg some questions in and of itself, is what's going on, to why we don't have any of this better evidence, more observation, actual real footage. So, but I do think with the new generation and a lot more popularity, people are going to try a heck of a lot more to get evidence and go beyond just getting evidence of them scaring us, but actually observing them in the environment and videotaping these observations. So so I'm going to take a look at the chat. Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of researchers would do good studying the primates and exactly what research was done and to get them on film and to actually start building the relationships and the techniques that they use now. You know, it's all very interesting stuff. Um, yeah. So, oh well, let's see. What happened to the rest of my crew? I haven't seen them in a while. Well, they're backstabbers, so they get kicked out basically. So you won't be seeing those particular people on here ever again. We got James and Tyler who'll be coming on the shows a lot more. James likes to come on the show and host, and when he has time, of course, he's got college stuff, and of course, work. Always a juggling act, and I got kids myself, so sometimes the show is Fridays, or sometimes it's Saturdays, and but yeah, the other guys who were usually on the show, they're not part of the group no more for various reasons, and mostly because of them basically backstabbing and doing shady stuff and being all for the money, basically. And that's not what we're about. We're not in for the money. We're not entertainment. I do this as a personal journey of myself and the other people who are members of the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. I think they feel the same way. They're trying to find the truth of what's out there and what they've experienced in the woods. And we're trying to get the best evidence we can of it. Is it hard? Yeah, it's not easy. I can tell you why we don't have better footage. Yeah. Well, yeah, if you want to come on, Pat, I'm going to actually put the link in the chat here in a little bit. Some rules of the open mic night. Obviously be respectful. Try not to swear. We try not to swear on this channel as much. I swear a lot, actually, but on here we try to be a little bit more professional and stuff in case younger audience and wants to join up and stuff, of course. We try to use words that are definitely better than swear words. Use more intellect and stuff to explain things than shortcuts, which are swear words. So if you just all of a sudden go crazy out of control, I'm gonna kick you out. I mean, I'm no warning or whatever. Don't make me mad. Don't. This is my show. I'll run it how I like, and if you're being an a-hole, you're being stupid, you'll get kicked out pretty fast. So, all right. So here's the link in the chat. Anyone can join, whatever. But anyways, yeah. Why I personally think we're having a hard time filming these creatures is because of what they do and our personal habits as humans when we're trying to engage them. But basically, they really don't like to be seen, and they hide behind a lot of stuff all the time. And I know personally myself, sometimes I don't concentrate on one area of filming long enough to possibly catch stuff if they were right there looking at you. And, sometimes, you move through an area too fast. Sometimes, you don't. I mean, there's so many variables in it. But the best thing is when it's stuff happening to you and they're close by you, you have the camera out. I mean, sometimes you don't even know where to point. You're pointing at what you hear, and you're pointing at stuff over there, but they're really just going to be all around you and pretty much moving around you. Is from what my experience is they actually move around you, and as you move on an area, they like to set up in positions to watch you. So sometimes they'll get up ahead of you, and then they'll sit behind a tree as you walk along, especially if you're on a trail, because they already know you're going to pretty much stay on the trail. And then they can set up basically observation posts, spots to get up ahead of you and observe you coming through the area. And especially on a worn out walking trail. I mean, those are spots, especially in places where people go recreational hiking. Those kind of people are not out there looking for Bigfoot. I mean, even if they heard some weird sounds, they would just associate it to the forest. It's it's weird, but it's nothing abnormal. And of course, people who are not experienced with the sounds and the rhythm of the forest might not even notice the stuff at all. It might just be so mixed together with the background that they don't actually pick out the unique sounds and stuff that is potential Sasquatch behavior and stuff going on. So no, I can say my personal experience is I think they know we can't see in the dark, because the ones that up in the UP, me and Jason's encounter, they are so close. And you see the eye shine on camera. It is so close to where me and him are. I don't see it. We don't see it. We're looking around. They would have to observe us and know that we cannot see them. And we're using lights and stuff. So they already kind of know, without technology. And this is generations of knowledge through observation of humans and through Native Americans. I'm pretty sure they've deducted by now that humans cannot see at nighttime. They need torches, fire, they need lights, they need special equipment that goes over their eyes. Now, they might not know that this equipment can see them, but they definitely know that humans cannot see in the dark. I think they hide even in the dark is because it's what they've evolved to do. It's more safer. You're observing things from a safe distance. I'm sure that, again, they look like monsters, right? So they scare people. And what do humans do to stuff that's scary? We kind of get pointy sticks or we grab our guns and we go after it. We take care of it. So I'm sure that they have a variety of things why they do it, but evolutionary, it's more of an advantage for them to always be stealth, always be behind stuff, always watching and observing everything. And to evolve like that, to be evolved to get into a spot and sit down and observe everything that comes into the area and what happens. You get a lot of time to think, sit down and think, and I would assume that builds up their intelligence and patience, thought process, tactics, developing tactics through observation. Observation comes understanding of stuff that's happening around them, and then they can take the opportunities to do whatever they need to do. So yeah. Well, links in the chat, guys. So anyone who's brave enough or just wants to come on and have some fun, come on out. Let's get this party started. And so yeah, scrolling on Facebook the last few days, there's some images are going around that are, people are taken seriously as, and people are actually promoting it as, this is, real evidence. And turns out it's more like a CGI or drawn up thing for a project for a video and stuff, and someone else is claiming it as evidence and stuff. And it's just hilarious how people just take something and run with it, even if it's not theirs, and they don't, there's like some other guy on a show. It was on Mogs' show, WTF. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys know who that is. He's pretty popular. He got a pretty good show. There was a guy on there who claimed that he I don't know, he got them or these sounds just happened 3 days ago, and it was like one of the oldest recordings of Bigfoots that we think is a pretty good Bigfoot call ever. And it's ridiculous, is what it is, that people would actually do that, and they do, and they think that. Well, who knows what they're thinking? Because they're thinking, they're doing it, and it's like, do they really think they're going to get away with it? I mean, especially taking a famous sound, a famous Bigfoot recording, and then claiming, "Oh, well, this was recorded 3 days ago." Come on, people. There's a lot of people in this community that have brains, but there's a lot of people in this community and that try to hoax people. Man, they're not the sharpest crayon in the crayon box. I mean, and I've exposed it too. In the Facebook group, I posted this evidence of. Long story short, some guy was filming a road and said a female Sasquatch ran up to him, and he rolled out of the way and dodged it and filmed it and posted a picture and some video, and put yellow dots on it, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, I see it." There's people actually saying that I see. Yeah, it looks like a Bigfoot who, in my opinion, should not have. I mean, you should easily have seen that something's not right about this. Some people who people think are Bigfoot researchers and stuff, fell for this hoax. And basically, what he did is it's so stupid. He has a blue sweatshirt on. It's kind of baggy. And he goes like this in front of the camera. And it happens so fast that you don't see, you barely see the cuff of his sweatshirt. But I slowed it down and actually reviewed it and seen that it was in fact fake. So I posted about it and called it out.
What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Pat?
What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Just hanging out and stuff. I seen a little bit of your show earlier too. Actually, we were watching Sam talk about how he got hoaxed by some of his family for about 2 years. Ongoing stuff.
Yeah, man, that was very powerful to me. It was, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is happening, and sometimes it can be your friends and family who are just maybe not when they start out, as a joke, and then all of a sudden they don't want to stop or they can't tell you because all of a sudden, they're so far deep into it might hurt feelings.
That's
you posted this stuff, you talked about it, you get into a few different shows, and now all of a sudden it turns out you're wrong.
That's the feeling I got, and I didn't want to dive too deep into the personal aspect of that. That wasn't my goal. I wasn't trying to air dirty laundry, But I thought it was a great example of somebody who's willing to come forward. It should be very embarrassed by that, right? But they're willing to come forward and say, "Hey, dude, I got hoaxed for 2 years." Wow,
yeah,
really? That's important,
There's probably a lot more out there, That's just one example.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot more out there.
It doesn't explain everything. Yeah.
No.
I'm in no way trying to put that forth as an explanation for the phenomena. It's just that it's important, I think, for people to admit and say, "Hey, this does happen," or "This can happen," because it just gives more ammunition to if you're gonna you're gonna talk about the actual phenomena, it's important to be honest and say, yeah, dude, some people get hoaxed, and here's a good example. You know, you're right. It does. It happens.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's been getting more popular that there's potentially people who are trying to just, I don't know, randomly do tracks or have these fake casts that they make and they put the imprints around. Hopefully, someone will find them. I think there's probably a number of people doing that too. I've heard people say they've done that. I've heard on TV shows of people
Yeah. It can
doing
very
those
well
sort of
be.
things too as a joke, and it's always made fun
Mhm.
of, and it's always we're scoffed at, and so they're doing it anyways. But
It's like a troll. Yeah.
it
And
is, it is.
and I'm sure that does happen, you know, which is which brings us to the whole boots on the ground thing. You know, if you're boots on the ground and you're finding tracks, well, are they real? You know, where were you? How remote was it? What time of year was it? Like, that's another thing. You know, if it's January and you're finding bare footprints of like smaller, especially smaller, right? Not the bigger, because if anybody's gonna hoax, they're gonna hoax big. But who
Right,
hoax small? Like, that would be almost evil genius cleverness. So in January,
right.
you find prints that are this big along a freaking creekway. That's kind of weird, you know. Um,
Right, exactly, exactly.
because kids don't run around in bare feet in January at almost any latitude, right? I mean, let that
Yeah.
in the U.S., except for some parts of Florida, maybe. That's it, you know. Um,
Well, they're not going to be in the woods or deep into the woods. If kids will be kids. They'll run barefoot, even in the snow. But usually, it's going to be very close to their house, so they can run inside and warm up. It's not going to be off the trail next to a swamp.
yeah, 20 miles out in the woods, or even
Yeah,
5 miles, you know. Um, so yeah, that I mean, so that kind of brings up the whole boots on the ground thing, and the comment I made earlier, it's like, why in 54 years has boots on the ground not yielded anything better than the PG film? You know, and I'm not sure why. All I know is that the data is in. There has to be a reason why. And so it's worth some kind of informative speculation, you know. Um, it seems to me they're just
yeah,
that good.
I would
They
agree.
are that
I
good.
really think it's that.
Yeah. So therefore, in my logical brain, I'm like, well, something else has to be done. There has to be an advantage taken, you know, and so instead of being boots on the ground, we're going to flush them out. We're going to get this. We're going to get that. You just got to get on top of them. So that's where aerial comes in. Aerial is the only logical next step to observing Sasquatch. Period. I mean, prove me wrong. Go out and film one tomorrow on boots on the ground because you're such a badass. You know.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. No,
Now I'm not saying you. I'm saying anyway. This isn't personal.
no,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no. Drone technology is probably the easiest way to film these things, but they're
It
probably going to be very
absolutely
wary
is.
of that too.
Why?
Just this buzzing thing, this technology flying ahead. I mean,
Aha, the sound.
I'm sure they're going to
See,
be
this is
cautious just as
always
much.
what I
But
get, dude. Oh my god. This is always what I
well,
get.
in the thermal, they're not going to be behind by trees with the thermal. It depends on the season and stuff, of course. But
Yes. The
I really
canopy.
think
Yeah. Yeah.
unexpected drone, when you have it way up there and they're really not hearing it or really expecting it, it would be the best possible way. Now,
Okay. All right. No. I'm going to dial you back to the hearing thing. All right. So let's say that I come upon let's just say a juvenile Sasquatch that's up in the tree, and I have my drone, right? Right. And I come upon that thing, and I get within 30 feet of it to film it, and it hears the drone. You can clearly hear the Sasquatch. You can clearly hear the drone. My question to you is, so what? What's it gonna do? What's it gonna do? What?
Most likely would try to run away or hide stealthily.
Hide where? Hide where?
Well, in the foliage. And if there's enough foliage in there, even the drone's not going to be able to penetrate and go in there, even with thermal.
Hey, I'm not in Florida, which is the worst place to use a freaking drone to look for Bigfoot. Yeah. Sorry, but it is. I'm not in Florida where the foliage doesn't change. I am in North Georgia. I'm in West Virginia. I'm in Kentucky. I'm in freaking hardwood territory up and down the Appalachians. So those are my conditions for looking for Sasquatch, is where the canopy is down. There is no foliage. There's no place to hide unless there's a convenient cave. And let's just rule that out.
You got a lot of them through the Appalachians. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let's say there's no cave and it's middle of winter. The canopy is down. I alert a Sasquatch with a noise that it doesn't understand what's going on. What is it going to do? Where's it going to hide? Where?
I mean, who knows? I mean, there's a variety of things that go into that situation. We don't really know what they would do. We think.
Well, I gave you the absolute conditions.
They might just stand straight still, and maybe you would never notice it.
On a thermal camera
technology, it's different. But
yeah, no, that I'm talking about a thermal observation from the air. Yeah, these are all my conditions. So I'm setting up the conditions in those parameters. My point is this: if it hears the drone in those conditions, which would be the most likely conditions where you would even try and look for them, what are they going to do? So if they hear the drone, what can they do about that? Like, what could they possibly do? It's like there's really nothing they could do about it. You're on top of them. It's game over. It doesn't matter if they hear it or not.
I like this answer.
Yeah, okay. So how far can they throw a rock? Can they throw it 100 feet into the air with a good velocity? Yeah.
Well, I mean, we really don't know, but
well, we don't, but I mean, that's human beings can't do that. I mean, and with what kind of accuracy, like, that's fine. I'll say to that, then I just captured a fucking, I'm sorry, you said don't swear. I apologize. I'm sorry, dude.
It's all right. Yeah,
just one F-bomb. I just captured a Sasquatch throwing a rock at my drone. Isn't that pretty amazing? Isn't that pretty incredible footage that I just captured? Like,
well, how come we don't have footage of them? There's people who have drones. There's people who have thermal drones.
No one's doing it.
There are rich people who probably have very expensive.
No one's doing it. Tell me one person that's doing it. Who in this world is looking for Sasquatch with thermal drones? Who? Tell me one person.
There's a few people, but the thermal drones that they have, it's not what's you're gonna have to spend a heck of a lot more money to get the footage to look crystal clear to what we need it to be. So I
10
do know a
grand.
few people who actually have thermal drones, but they're not. It's not going to be the best. It's going to be good.
If you don't,
but
if you do not have an $8,000 camera attached to that thermal drone, you're right. It's not going to be as conclusive. Yep. So who in the Bigfoot world is using an $8,000 camera attached to a thermal drone, actively looking for Bigfoot? Name me one person that's doing that.
No clue.
No one. So there's your answer.
No, I mean,
you just answered your own question. Nobody's doing it, including me, dude. I'm sitting here talking about it. I'm being this passionate about it. I don't own that drone. I don't have a thermal drone. Like I'm a drone pilot, dude. I've got drones. I make videography. I do production stuff. I can do all kinds of cool stuff with drones, but I do not have a thermal drone because it costs so much, you know. And I'll be honest with you, dude. You and your audience, I don't have 10 grand in my pocket to just go buy one. So even me sitting here advocating it for the way that I am, I don't have that in my possession, you know, not yet.
Yeah, we'll see what the future holds. I think
that's
how there's
a
lot more dedicated people in the Bigfoot community, and I think hopefully the next couple of years we'll get up to a level of getting better evidence and have better strategies that work. Not 50 more years of BS still. And,
I agree 100%, dude.
It's going to be the boots on the ground, the people actually doing this and doing it, you know, more of a professional way, not you know, taking this lightly, but taking it very seriously. You know,
the boots on the ground obviously has its place, like it does, but it's becoming symbiotic in a way that I think the boots on the ground guys aren't thinking about, which is my angle. You know, is that there's people I know I could go tap them on the shoulder tomorrow if I had a thermal drone. I might get some great footage out of that, because you know why? Because they were boots on the ground guys that understood they're in this area, you know, and it's become symbiotic in that way. But the boots on the ground guys got to understand that there's this other aspect that's going to actually observe them. If you're boots on the ground, man, good luck. I mean, I don't know. Like you're never truly going to observe them. You might interact with them, and I'll give you that. I'll give some of you guys that. Like not you personally.
Not me.
Or you may too. Like I'm just saying in general.
I'm joking with you, man. No, I know what you're talking about for sure, though.
Yeah, the boots on the grounds guy may personally interact with them, but he will or she will never get the jump on them. Like unless it's a 1 in a million chance, you know, it's kind of what happened with the PG film. I think of today as a perfect storm. You know, it's just a perfect storm in 1967 that came together for them to get that. Oh, that's right. What's inconclusive footage for most people these days? It's like 54 years later. It's nothing definitive ever come out of that, you know. Even though I know that's a damn Bigfoot.
Been proven a hoax. It's never been proven.
I know it's a Bigfoot.
Stood the test of time. So in that regard, it puts it in a different category than a lot of evidence we have.
No, I agree. It's the best
by scientists. It has been dissected by filmmakers.
Yeah, it's
photographers.
It's the best visual evidence we have. And I'm telling you right now, like, I know that's a Bigfoot in that film. Like 100%. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
I've looked at it up and down, left and right, every way you can look at it. I know what I'm looking at is what we would call a Bigfoot. It's not a dude in a suit, that kind of thing. But yet, it's not enough to turn the tide or even like move it much. So we need hours of the
Or some
Patterson
type of
Gimlin
different
movie.
interaction. Not a Sasquatch walking away from us. If one was coming,
Yeah.
or like what happened to me and Jason up in the UP. We have it on camera. You can't see the Sasquatch, but you can see what's happening. We have our encounter filmed, and Jason is filming himself when he sees one cross the trail, and you can see his face. He looks like a ghost. We get some eye shine in that, and if you believe what we're saying on the film, and if you believe our encounter, which the video will come out here in a couple months, they get extremely close, and they actually showed themselves to us. We were pointing at them, and we were watching them for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
They were behind the tree. Long story short, they announced themselves by making some movement, and then I pointed my gun at them. Once I realized it wasn't a bear, I put it on the shoulder, and they actually tree peeked at us. And Jason's pointing at them, and we're watching them, we're looking at them, we're hearing stuff around us. We got that on film. Now you can't see the Sasquatch because our lights are not bright enough, but you do see eye shine that is very close to us in two different spots. And if you believe what you're watching and you believe us and our integrity, it's as good as it gets. I mean, we actually seen them, silhouettes, massive heads. I mean, either you believe me or you don't. The video is gonna come out.
I hear you, dude, but
if it was during the daytime, we would have better footage. We would have pretty good stuff. I wouldn't say better stuff, but we would have some pretty good evidence.
The problem with everything you just said is that you use the word believe way too many times. And evidence is not about
that's just grammar.
I know, but I think that's important.
And you can watch what happens with what we're interacting with. So
yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, what you have is an anecdotal account. You don't have any visual evidence that's conclusive whatsoever.
Not visual evidence for people to see, but we eyewitnessed it ourselves.
But the story again, anecdotal account, which is fine. I'm not trying to say you're full of crap. That's not what I'm saying here.
Well, we do have eye shine.
What I'm saying is that it's not evidence.
So if you add everything up, there is something there. It's not. We're not out there making this up and make believing the stuff's happening behind the tree. I mean,
I know, dude, but okay.
I think we got some other stuff too that happened around camp. We get. You better like some eye shine because I got a lot more coming.
I know, but
and it's not red,
dude. Look, I believe you 100%. I don't even you and I don't even know each other that well, and I'm saying, look, bro, I believe you. Okay.
No,
I have friends.
It's not going to be good enough to convince anyone. I know that, of course.
Yeah.
But if you watch it and you believe me and him, it's some pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, is it the best? No, but there is actual evidence. Eye shine on there. Jason does see it across the road, and he is filming himself. And you can see his face. His body language tells a story that he's actually seeing something.
Well,
so you can't fake that on camera.
Okay, let me ask you this, dude.
There's a few
what's your goal? There. What's your ultimate goal? Do you want to make the public aware, or do you want to make science aware of it? Is that any part of your goal, personally?
I think awareness for safety reasons, but I think personally, my ultimate goal is I already know they're real. I've already experienced a lot of stuff, but I would really like to get more close encounters and actually film something good, something decent, and put it out there. Spread awareness. I'm just doing it for the truth. And I've already
Yeah.
had several encounters where it's been affirmed to me that, these things are real and they get very close. But,
Okay.
I don't know. It's just a personal journey for me, and I have to do it. I love it. I enjoy it. I've been doing this since I was a kid. I take a lot of enjoyment of it, and I take some pride in doing it too, and doing it seriously. I've been out in the woods with fake people who say they're researchers and they're this and that, and people regard them in a high manner. Dude, they're fake. They didn't go out do nothing. They sit at camp and talk about stories of what they did before. Well, why don't you do it now when we're in a place to do it? So I got to do it myself, and that's the only way I know that is going to satisfy me. Is if I go out and I do this myself and try to get the best evidence I can to show people.
Sure.
There's a lot of years where I didn't want to show people stuff. I thought, the next year someone's going to have some stuff. The next year people are going to find better. The next year we're going to have the better Patterson. Well, it never happened. And now I'll just, can help do it myself, play my part in it, make friends, spread awareness, promote other channels, try to get the community up to be more serious level and not just do this willy-nilly, let's go camp out and, we hear stuff, and go out and let's investigate it. There was a comment here that, why don't you go chase after them? Well, we have before, and really all they do is run away. And they circle back and they start messing with you. I mean, it's not like, you can go out with the camera and like run into the thing and get a film. I mean, these things we're like toddlers out there. We can't see in the dark. We trip over everything in the dark. We move super slow. Our reaction times is super slow compared to them. I mean,
right.
People are looking up 7 feet when they're on the ground crawling on all fours.
The thermal drone solves all those problems. That's all I'm saying, dude. And I'm not trying to tell you to change your journey and how you want to approach it. I'm just like advocating for, like, if we're going to talk about what's best, the thermal drone just solved every problem you just threw out there. Like, it moves through the air unobstructed at high speed, pinpoint accuracy.
You don't have the close encounter that you would have if you were actually boots on the ground there, though. And I think,
who cares?
In some ways,
I'm still looking at it from 50 feet. Like, it doesn't matter.
Well, some people just need to go out there and experience stuff. I mean, that's just the bottom line. No matter what is filmed and caught, it's never going to be good enough until they actually, either the government scientists say, yep, it's real, proof positive, or they get out there and experience it. And if maybe, we can film encounters happening in real time, pretty close encounters, intense stuff that obviously is not faked, obviously by credible people, that may sway some people more than, footage of a Bigfoot. Seeing people actually experience stuff in real time might be better for some people.
If I could
That's
flip
what
that,
we're trying to do is we're trying to film these close encounters and actually get them and get evidence. We got some stuff coming out. So
there are millions of people interested in the Bigfoot phenomena. I would say just off the anecdotal accounts alone, Yeah. If you look at, Wes and Sasquatch Chronicles, he's broke through the Bigfoot bubble into the, like, pop culture, and I mean, he's probably responsible. He's probably the most responsible guy for the however many people come into the Bigfoot online community every day, and so, so you kind of have this, again, anecdotal is entertainment.
it can become it.
It is. At the end of the day, it's entertainment. Like, that's why people tune in, dude. If you're gonna host a encounter show, people show up because they like cool, spooky stories, you know, and they're compelling. And I'm not saying that those people are lying. Again, let me step back. I'm not saying that all that's not real. I'm telling you who the people are showing up with doing this. When it comes to actual observation, that's not the target. It's those people
Right.
aren't the targets. The target are the scientists. The target are the eDNA specialists who don't give a crap about having anything to do with an undiscovered primate until you show them 15 minutes of footage of what is undoubtedly of an undiscovered primate. It's you see what I mean?
Right.
That's how we move the ball down the field. That's how we bridge the gap. The observations have to happen, and I'm sorry, they're just not going to happen boots on the ground. 54 years proves me right when I say that.
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, it's true. There's no doubt about it. I know I'm gonna try. I'm gonna personally try, and
you
from what I've
should. You do
observed,
you. I'm not
that's
even
all I
trying
can
to
do.
talk you out
That's
of
all I
doing
can
you,
do.
man. No,
And
yeah.
present the stuff that we find, and if you guys think it's, I mean, we don't know. Some of the stuff we put out, we don't know. Some of the other stuff, we lean towards Sasquatch stuff because of interactions we had there. But you're gonna have to take
Just
our word
stay
for
objective.
it, or come up with your own conclusions. But at least we give you something. We're not just going out there and telling you a story of, well, this happened here, and well, we don't have nothing to show for it. You just gotta believe us. I mean, at least we try to show you something. And if nothing happens, well, there's nothing to show.
I agree.
So,
and again, man, I'm not trying to talk you out of doing what you do.
I know that. I know.
Yeah, like you do what you do, man. Like obviously, you know how to work a camera, and you know how to go out. You know how to go out in the woods and and move along and work your camera. And so, dude, keep doing what you're doing. I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I think all I'm here to do is to say, there's this other thing that's at least equally important. The aerial thing is very important. It needs to be integrated into everyone's techniques and tactics, however you want to do it. Boots on the ground. I mean, you should at least have Overwatch. I mean, how can you not deny that the power of Overwatch? If I took a Navy SEAL team tomorrow out in the woods and said, "Hey, we're looking for a Sasquatch," the first thing they're going to do is look at me and go, "Where's our air cover?" Like they're used to having Overwatch. Navy SEALs don't operate without Overwatch, So that's what Navy SEALs would do. That's what we should be doing, So that's my pitch,
Well, if funding ever comes available and I'm able to get a thermal drone, and definitely will be using it.
Me too, brother.
I mean, that's just no doubt about it. You got to use everything you got. But actually apply yourself, not, if you're going to do this, well, do it seriously, man. Don't just willy-nilly it at a camp, a camp spot. Let's, you're actually dedicated to get evidence, then go places where people aren't going to go. You're going to have to get a little wet. You might have to go through a swamp. You got nice shoes on. Well, maybe you shouldn't have packed your shoes on this trip because we're going to go get muddy. I mean,
oh yeah.
There's a lot of things that I think people just
you should have
they don't take it seriously. Well, they take everything else
show
seriously,
up with waterproof
when they
boots.
get into the
woods,
they're not even training or exercising, and now they're going on. They're expecting to go on a 20-mile hike and stuff like this. I mean, it's unrealistic, and some of these approaches without actually working out, training, working out your mind, coming up with tactics and strategies, but going out there and see if it works. Not just going out there to camp. Anyone can do that. I agree. It gets that all that gets convoluted too.
because there is sort of an importance to the camaraderie of it, right?
Oh no, most certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, where do you draw that line? It's like I've been I've been out, on things that were way more camaraderie than they we're actually looking for Bigfoot. It's like
Right.
at the end of the day, it's it's all over the map, but so I love the camaraderie part of it. Like, dude, I'd go camping with you tomorrow night, man. Like, I don't even I don't even know you that well, but I trust you at my campsite. And to be honest with you, man, I'd like to have this conversation around a campfire. And then
Yeah.
maybe we go on a night hike, and walk through the woods together, you know?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
cool. So we're kind of combining both of those worlds, So
Oh yeah. I
that,
mean that
you know,
it does happen. I mean that's you're gonna talk and have a good time, and especially you hang out with people. You're talking nonstop about Bigfoot, of course, but it's more of the not doing anything else, but not actually going out there and going off trail or setting up, if you want kill cameras or whatever you got, whatever technology you're applying, is going out there and doing it. But you know, I mean, we go out and we try to go out and a lot of people say stay at camp, they'll come to you. Well, first you got to push out there and find them. If how do you know they're even going to be around your camp if you're you just set up camp and then you hopefully expect them to come? I mean, at least if you push out there and you push deep, and my philosophy is if you hear something and you think you're getting an interaction, well, go walk 200 yards, go walk somewhere else. And if you have the same interaction and the same stuff, well, a deer's not going to follow you 200 yards. A raccoon and a squirrel's not going to be following you through the woods, chucking stuff at you. So walk out there, have something happen, walk somewhere else. If it keeps following you, you might have something, walk back to camp. But just don't expect that you're going to set up and all of a sudden you start hearing stuff in the Sasquatch. I mean,
right.
You have to be used to the woods and the rhythm of the forest, and you have to go out there and experience stuff. There's sounds a lot of creatures make that I've never heard. The birds make a crap ton of noises. We always see these videos of these bobcats fighting each other, screaming, and then they're posted on all these other videos claiming it's a Bigfoot here, howl.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All that.
It's junk, and it's by people who don't know the woods. They don't even know the sounds of basic stuff. So just getting out there, being in the woods is gonna help a lot.
Yeah, man.
I mean, do that. Well, here I got some stuff that we'll play. Get your opinion on. My computer's working slow. I was gonna download some other stuff, some tracks I got, pictures of and a little video of, but they're not on this StreamYard account. It's on my phone StreamYard account, which is the same account, but they don't. I don't know. They don't interlock for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
You need a producer.
Yeah.
You need
I had a lot of things. Things would probably be a lot more better on here, but
it's okay, man.
Tight budget.
I'm just
dad life,
I'm
man.
just
It's dad life full time, seems like.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some audio and stuff, and I'm gonna just take a listen, and then I'll let you give us your thoughts.
I'm all ears.
All right, here we go.
It sounded like wood knocks to me.
I'll play it again, but actually the stick breaks apart and hits the ground. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't notice that. What I heard was 2 wood knocks. And
if you hear it, if you really listen, it actually shatters and it hits the ground. And that's what we find unique. In this particular spot, a member was camping out with some friends, set up an audio recorder a couple hundred yards away from camp, and had some knocks happen. And they were at camp, no one else was around them, and they didn't hear the knocks. So let me play that one more time for you.
Yeah. Huh. So I hear what you're saying. You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, my computer's working a little slow when I play the video.
I hear what you're saying with after the second wood knock, you hear another sound that like sounds like, but that wood knock sounded like it was, I don't know, at least 50 feet away. Ballparking it.
We don't really know how close, but it's close enough to pick up.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I'm ballparking it. I'm not how you'd hear the subtlety of something breaking apart and falling in leaf litter just as clearly. So I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what I'm hearing there. What I do hear is two wood knocks, which gives me goosebumps. And so I'll say the wood knocks, man. Whatever you tell me the situation, where you're at, what was the situation, all that, the audio. If that's legitimate wood knocks, man, you got me. like,
Yeah, I mean, the audio card is out there, and you're hearing this stuff. And there's some other stuff that actually has happened on the audio. You actually get some more wood knocks, but that's the only one I got loaded up for that. We actually have another one, and we'll play, then I'll tell you the backstory on it.
All right.
Very fast, very short clip.
I got nothing out of that. Like,
can you hear that? Let me do it one more time.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, that was a short clip. I would share it off the share button, but my computer just all of a sudden doesn't work for some reason, even though it's a pretty good computer with full Wi-Fi. But basically, we were walking on a trail, and we have a dog with us, and he's up a front. All of a sudden, there's a knock, bam, and the dog comes running back. And then we're sitting there thinking, did you guys hear that? Yeah, well, was it what knocked? Did the dog smack a tree with its head, and cause a knock? I mean,
right.
Very odd stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it. I mean, when you played it the second time, I heard it almost sounded like a thump or something.
Yeah.
Like, but That's cool. I mean,
we got some other stuff, but actually, I got a video I want to show you and get your opinion of.
all right.
A little bit of backstory on this. This comes from a old researcher here in Michigan, and we consider him one of the godfathers of Michigan Bigfoot research. This is Bob Daigle, and I can't remember where this footage comes from. I think it's either Ohio or some other place, but he was doing a lot of stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s, and set up a static cam and caught a supposed Sasquatch vandalizing a barn. And so we actually have a video of that. And so I'm not sure if you've ever seen this. It's not something that is out there.
Okay.
So let's play it and let's get your opinion on it. See if you've ever seen it before.
Sure. Oh, great. Yep.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. That might be on my end. All right, and that is Bob Daigle himself right there, the older gentleman.
Hmm.
Pretty interesting, to say the least.
Inconclusive.
No, but there's something in there that we could, and we can think about and talk about is how much force does it take for a person to punch those boards off, completely off the frame like that? I mean, it looks like it's at least a foot wide board. I mean, those are pretty heavy. Usually those are nailed in. I mean,
but not if they're half nailed in, right?
Well, right.
Yeah.
Right.
See, that's the problem. Is that I know where you're going in your head, dude. I know where you're going. Here's where I'm going. It's inconclusive because you know what I don't see in that footage? A Sasquatch. I never see a Sasquatch. Therefore, I have to default to inconclusive. Show me a Sasquatch. I'm a skeptic.
Well, I mean, if something bends down in there, you don't get a good look. I mean, it's shot in like 720p. You know, back then that was premium, but there's some other stuff. You know, like the boards getting smacked out. You know, you could theorize the calculation of what kind of force it would take to do that. It does it on two boards. It also picks up, and what Bob said was a half chunk of cinder block that it picks up. And you can see if you've studied, if you played it a few times, but if you had the clip and were watching it, it brings it to about waist level and it throws it underhand, which a lot of people think Sasquatch throws underhand. It throws underhand. You know, how much force does that rock actually, because it actually hits the door frame and then bounces off. You know, how much force and poundage is that to be able to do that?
Not much. I mean, I could do that easily.
Well, you do an underhand throw.
Yeah.
If you play it again, we'll talk through it.
Yeah, I could throw a quarter piece of cinder block off a door frame. Pretty strong.
So like right here, when he actually punches this board, not that one, but this side board right here, I mean, that's one. Boom, that's two. Now, what
It's just
that
not
takes a
good
lot
enough.
of force, and for someone to just to do that willy nilly, I mean, they're going to mess up their hand. Now, when he picks this up, if you notice it, he only goes underhand, throws it, and you see it comes down, and then he whips it pretty dang fast. I mean, it doesn't look like he.
Dude, I could whip a piece of cinder block just that fast, easily. I'm telling you, I could, man. I mean, you laugh, but come on,
No,
man.
I mean, I could do it too, but
Yeah,
at
I
what
could.
velocity will it actually show up on camera? Because that's what we're trying to determine is if the velocity speed is something so non-human.
I'd say probably at that velocity. I mean, it doesn't look difficult to do. I mean, at all.
Well, maybe. I mean, it could be my opinion. I think the cinder block bounces off that door frame pretty hard. And again,
Yeah, there's
personally, I
nothing.
have punched things and broke walls before, but I've never been able to do that. And I don't think I could punch a whole board off a wall like that.
It looks like a bunch of things fell. It just looks like a bunch of things fell to me. Like
there was some stuff leaning on it, but then the boards get punched off. And then this is not the clip that I enhance and stuff though. I have to download.
Sorry, dude. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. You asked me.
Well, exactly. I love it. It is what it is. This is what Bob got. It's not really out there on the internet. He thinks it's a Sasquatch, and from the eyewitness and what they were having on the property, this is what they got. So
here's what I'll say.
Doing it, or
dude, here's what I have to say is that let's just say it was a Sasquatch. It's still inconclusive. Like, that's my point. At the end of the day, show me a Sasquatch, not this happened, that happened, this. But it could. What is it? A guy in a suit? Blah blah blah.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
It's like who's hoaxing,
who are you playing to,
or
who you playing to? Who are you trying to convince? You send that footage to any scientist in the world, they're going to go.
I mean,
I don't know what I'm looking at. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know anything about this. Like, my point is this. If it's inconclusive, it's inconclusive. It doesn't matter if it's actually a Sasquatch or not. It's actually irrelevant to the discussion. If we want to do better, we cannot accept this kind of stuff as any kind of evidence. It's not evidence to me. And I swim these waters, dude. It's not evidence to me at all.
Well, it is evidence of something. Now, it does need to be dissected and determined if it's actually inconclusive, real, or fake.
But
one of those
you can never get there.
It definitely has not been thoroughly looked through, and
you can never
I don't
get
know
there.
If it's even on the internet. It's on the internet, but I mean, I've never seen it been posted by any Bigfoot people. Never seen any breakdowns on it.
I agree with you on that. This is the first time I've ever seen it. So you're right. It's not making the rounds, right?
No.
I agree with you on that. But you just showed it to me. And I'm giving my opinion. It's completely inconclusive. Like, no one can ever say that's for sure that's a Bigfoot. Even if it is, I'm willing to grant that. Okay, it's a Bigfoot, but there's no evidence that it is. Does that make sense?
Right. I mean, it's true. I think it
I'm
comes down
to fair.
Maybe if someone actually looked at it and had better software to actually, maybe you could brighten it up or bring it out more to maybe we could see more features. Maybe does it have hair? Is it a person in a jacket? And also taking a look at the physics of the force of these boards moving and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I'm not going to be able to determine that. And even if I got software and measured it,
Here's my
I
point,
think
dude.
if those things were looked at a little bit more, maybe it could lean one way out of inconclusive. But you're right, it is kind of inconclusive.
Well, it's
I think
absolutely
it's better than a lot of stuff that is
yeah.
posted as evidence. But
Yeah. No, here's the one thing I don't see in that footage. I don't ever see a Bigfoot. Like, I want,
right, there's just
I
some
want
humanoid
four
things that
4 foot wide shoulders, big giant head, no neck, all the things that people talk about when they actually do see a Bigfoot. That's what I want on film. I don't see any of that on what you just showed me. So I don't see a Bigfoot. And I don't care what happens or how fast anything moves. Like, none of that's relevant. It's inconclusive. And so, therefore, we raise the bar. We get out of this. We get out of this. This is the kind of crap. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say crap. I'm not trying to
that's all
belittle
right.
what you're showing. This is the kind of stuff that we show or think. We raise the bar up to here and say, no, this is the bar. This isn't the bar. This is the bar. This is where we start actually vetting visual evidence. Not down here, up here. That's what needs to happen in the Bigfoot world. Period.
I think we do need better evidence, but at the same time, some of the stuff that's not as good quality, I mean, it still has to be vetted and looked at somewhat because that's what most of the evidence we have is. It's fleeting glimpses of crappy phones or people don't know how to use their cameras or settings.
That's about to change.
And not all of them are going to be, even though they're inconclusive, there might be some of them that they are potential Sasquatches.
Well,
even though
I mean, dude, Todd Standing's photos, right? Like, they were crystal clear, right?
Crystal clear, and well, they look they were very
crystal
odd.
clear.
They look
right.
crystal clear, but they don't look. It doesn't look realistic like a normal animal either.
Right. So if we're gonna vet Todd Standing's photos, do we vet them down here or do we vet them up here? That's my point.
They've already been vetted, and I think they were vetted up there initially when they were first came out.
Which is why we shouldn't vet stuff down here. If it's super inconclusive, sorry, you may have caught a Bigfoot that night. I hate it for you, but it's so inconclusive, it's not even worth vetting. We need
some of the stuff, yeah. It's not.
Yeah, we need to get the stuff that's up here. We need to get the Todd Standing type of footage. Right?
Clarity.
So clarity. Exactly. Good word. We need to get that stuff. And so that's what we should be focused on. We shouldn't be focused on and then spend 6 months trying to vet that, and at the end of that 6 months, it's like, Steve Coles shows up and exposes it for the hoax that it was, like, oh, it's a hoax, or Paranormal Breakdown, or whoever, pick your debunker, right? Goes, this is why it's not Bigfoot. This is why it's a hoax. And that, how many times does that happen? How much time is wasted on this?
Well, but I think that needs to be done too, so you can put these inconclusive footages as well, it's a hoax because of this, or it's still inconclusive because there's nothing else that's taken out of it, but it's not going to show anything more than Bigfoot. I think some of that stuff needs to be vetted because of the hoaxes and all this and the fake crap, but
it's been done.
You are right. It is kind of a waste of time in ways, but
it is. I'll give you an example. When Thinker Thunker put out his video of a Bigfoot shaking a tree, that was captured on drone footage. All right. So now we're incorporating the drone into the discussion, and so Thinker Thunker, who has a powerful channel, right? And takes this footage, and it's a tree getting shaked around and then picked up and moved, right? Like a pine tree, a freaking 80 foot pine tree.
Yeah, huge, massive tree.
Yeah, big, massive tree that, no Bigfoot could. I know they're out there. I'm not saying they're not out there. They are. No Bigfoot could ever pick up and carry off. It weighs like 4,000 pounds. Like
more than that. Way more than that.
Yeah, yeah. Weight like could be 12,000 pounds, right?
Well,
yeah. So
probably more than that.
Yeah. So Thunker.
I've cut trees down and we've weighed them through cranes, and you'd be surprised how. I mean, we can have one. All right,
so
that
is 80
7,000 pounds, and there's 20 more chunks of it.
Right. So, well, I know you live up north, down here in the south. So this was a southern pine. Probably 80 foot tall. Base this wide.
Say, 5 at least 5,000 pounds or more.
Yeah.
5 to 10.
Right. All right.
Easily. Yeah.
So Thinker Thunker is making this video and smothering it in Bigfoot sauce, dude. Like, here's all the Bigfoot sauce you could ever want. Right. And look at this. Oh, look at this white object. And he makes the whole video about how this Bigfoot not only snapped a pine tree at its base this big, but picked it up and actually carried it off vertically, right?
Right.
What? like that right alone is like, what are you talking about? I don't care how big Bigfoot is, and they are big. I know they're 8 feet tall, 4 foot wide shoulders. They're intimidating looking big things. So like they snapped off a pine tree and carried it off. No. Oh, there's something that can do that. It's called a man-made machine called a feller buncher, full of hydraulics and gasoline. Those things can do that. They do it all the time. Human beings can do that. Right?
Exactly. That's what it ended up being, of course, because more footage came out.
Well, I made a
full version of the video.
I made a big
was out. Yeah. Was
so.
Yeah,
I made a big deal out of that. I was like, on the absurdity alone of the narrative of again Bigfoot sauce. I'm like, it's a feller buncher. That's what it is. And I made a big deal out of it. I did a show about it. And one of my viewers dug deeper and found the original footage and found the feller buncher in it. The actual,
right, exactly.
So, and then posted it to Thinker Thunker, and he retracted the video.
Yep. I know. I seen it. I seen the videos he posted, and then
he retracted it. He admitted that he was wrong, and so he's a big player. I'm a small player, dude, just like you and me, man. We have small channels, right? So that felt good for me to like put it out there that strong and make that case, and then one of my viewers actually got interested enough, and that led to the downfall of his video. That was a big deal to me. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about with the bar. If Pat Turner would have never done that, Thinker Thunker would have never retracted that video. So that's what I'm constantly fighting against, the tide of BS.
Well, it's entertainment. It's just, it's not doing the research and just, oh, this thing looks awesome. Let
I
me just post it as a
agree.
Bigfoot without
That's
dedicating
why I
yourself to
say
going
raise
through
the
it,
bar.
researching it, and vetting
Raise
it.
the bar.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Yeah.
my
Well, I
whole
think
point. Raise the bar, dude.
like you were saying, a quick story, nice story, something quick and easy. Put some Bigfoot, slapped it on there. I mean, people eat it up. But when you show them like evidence or real researchers that are trying to show you the real stuff that's happening to them, well, it's not a story, it's not entertainment, and sometimes it can be a little boring. So those stuff doesn't go viral, and we kind of need those individual groups, researchers, and evidence to go viral. Not that video where all these fake bobcat calls that people are saying are Bigfoot.
Right.
It's regurgitating and stuff, and
Look,
or
I
hoaxes.
agree with you, dude.
There's people who believe, like what Rick Dyer did, and there's a whole bunch of them. The fake dead Bigfoot body the dude always starts showing. You had the Bigfoot that speaks to people. That was caught on camera by what's it, Patterson, or was it Mike or something?
No. That was something else, I think. Like, I
There's
think
a few of them out there. I
conflating.
get them mixed up. I don't pay attention to them, but you see their hoaxes out there a lot, and people just don't understand that it's already been mostly proven as hoax. It's already accepted as this is fake hoax stuff. Evidence has come out from the sky.
I agree, and which is why I'm willing to call that stuff out, because it gets in the way of you and me, dude.
Yeah, it has to be called out. It should be.
Yeah, because
it's muddying the water, and no one can see.
It's white noise. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, that's what 99% of the online Bigfoot community is. It's either a hoax, a misidentification, or a troll. It's only 1% that's actually real. I'm not talking about the anecdotal accounts. The anecdotal accounts are what they are, whatever percentage they fall. I'm talking about just sort of the narrative and the visuals, even the audios. Those things, 99% of what we see online is BS, dude. Except for anecdotal. I'm removing that from the equation. Yeah. Anecdotal is important. But Blob Squatch is not, and never will be. It never will be. Don't ever, do not send me email picture of a Blob Squatch. I'll tell you, inconclusive. It doesn't move the ball down the field.
I might pull up a picture. It's I don't know. I might have to download it again. It's not on this. It's on my phone. If I were just done this off my phone, I'd have a lot more stuff. But maybe I won't be able to get to it. It might be on here.
All right.
Nope, it's not. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I think there's just a lot more people into it, and get into the all these friends that they're making, or people that are into their stuff, and then they get into the entertainment and sensationalizing everything that happens to them, basically. And there's a lot of people like that. I don't know if they're trolls. They're just fake, is what I consider. And or claims that they have all these years of doing this and doing that, but they really don't have nothing to show. I mean, you can take their word for it, and maybe there are some guys who have a lot of integrity that I would believe, but especially if you're a researcher, if you've been researching for a while, you should try to show them something, have something. I know it doesn't always happen to everyone, but it's time to raise the bar and try and get evidence, and not storytelling time. There's enough stories out there. There's enough, encounters and stuff. But let's get
there's nothing wrong with that. We don't ever want to discourage anybody.
No, of course not. I'm talking in the sense of it's just flooded with, in this, like you were saying, it's like it doesn't become a Bigfoot encounter. It becomes like a Bigfoot story, whereas, people are in it listening to the story and you get entertainment from it instead of let's dissect it. Let's see if there's any data points from it, time, location, any patterns that correlate to other encounters that we've listened to and stuff. Not just, oh, it's another good story, but that's the only time I listen to stories and stuff is to get some research points. Maybe they have some location or maybe they have some unique pattern that maybe I've never heard or might correlate to this or that and to vet the person too.
Yeah.
That's why I like to have researchers on here. So if they're telling their story, you can see what they look like, what their body language is telling you, and see, if they're full of crap or not. Going on all these shows.
Am I full of crap? Am I full
of
crap?
No.
How can you tell? How can you tell? I'm making wacky man arm movements. Yeah, no, I hear you, dude. And I'll say this before I go, and I'll bow out and let you wrap up your show. But like, you're a good dude. I like you. I'm just trying to have a conversation. That's all. Like an honest, open conversation. We might agree. We might disagree. That's fine. At the end of the day, man, if you're cool about it and I'm cool about it, and the way we discuss it, it's not a crap show. Like, these conversations are important to have, and that's why I came on here tonight.
I'm glad you did, and you should come on, more often and stuff. I'll send you an invite, and
yeah, I will.
Yeah, these discussions do need to happen, and of course, we're not going to agree on everything, but coming away from it, at least maybe we can learn something, think about a few things we might not have thought about, and and don't let our differences become in the way of actual research and networking and sharing stuff to learn. I think that happens too much too.
Absolutely, man. And that's I think that's a good example of the conversation that you and I had tonight, is that we can challenge each other, or we can question, and we can have the discussion that should be had. So thanks for having me on. I will come back anytime you want. So
yeah, I'll take.
I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you, Pat. Thanks for coming on.
All right, brother. I'm out.
All right, take it easy. Have a good one. All right, guys. That's Pat Turner from Squatch Talk. You can watch him on his YouTube channel. He also has a Facebook group. So check him out. He has a lot of good guests that come on. They talk about a number of different subjects. And honestly, some of the stuff we're talking about today is raising the bar and different techniques, thought processes, and a lot of variety and stuff. So check out his show, subscribe, and all that. Put the links in the chat. Someone else wants to come on, chat for a little bit. We'll depends on what happens. Maybe we'll run another hour at least. But kids are being good, so let's keep running it and stuff. Glad everyone's having fun in the chat. I seen there were some questions in the chat we didn't get to or anything. Just how the conversation was going. I didn't want to interrupt, Pat and stuff to answer a question that wasn't really exactly what we were talking about at the moment and stuff. So, but yeah, no, this is true. Bob Daigle is that where that footage came from, and he has integrity. I've been out in the field with him. At 78 years old, he's a little older now. This is 2 years ago. At 78, he was out there and leading the way at some points. He was actually pretty phenomenal and a wealth of knowledge. And so, that's some of the footage he got. And it is what it is. It is pretty inconclusive. It's not going to be good enough ever. But I personally think that there could be, as technology grows, software and different computer tools could be used to dissect and hopefully amplify, enhance, and show potentially something more than inconclusive video. But that is hopefully something in the future that we can do, because a lot of these crappy videos and stuff, we really need a good analyzation tool and breakdown, something better than what is available to most of the public now. I mean, you'd have to spend quite a bit of money, but there is certainly stuff and people you can pay, companies you could pay to enhance videos too. So maybe more researchers need to do that too, is network with some of these companies that actually do these enhancements of video, of security videos, of whatever, enhance some of these Bigfoot videos, and maybe we can prove it to be one way or the other, or, you know, stay inconclusive, you know. So yeah, so chat's in the links in the chat. Come on. Don't be shy. You know, it'll be fun. We'll just talk Bigfoot stuff. I'm gonna have to load more stuff on here to show people, but no, we're gonna have more. We'll have actual evidence from the UP coming out here in a little bit. We're waiting on Jason Kenzie to drop his documentary first to do that. You know, as a buddy and stuff. I told him that's what we would do, so that's what we're gonna do. I told him that months ago. So I thought his documentary would come out a little sooner, but hey, you know, it does take time. It's not easy. It does take a lot of work. You can watch his first 2 documentaries, Searching for Sasquatch. It is on a variety of different platforms, but the first one you can watch on YouTube, and that will be a photojournalist, a photo warrior channel. Let me go find the link, and I'll just put it in chat, and then you guys can watch his first documentary that has won a film award for being was it Best Picture and another one I can't remember right now. So let me load that up and get that going. Recently, I just went through another 18 hours worth of audio stuff that nothing happened. But if you don't go through it and really listen to it and dissect it, you know, you're never going to find if something did happen. So, and then got another video from the conference. The speakers going to be dropping here in another week. My computer's so slow. I got too much stuff on here, too much stuff stored, too many videos, too much stuff, and I gotta do some cleaning. All right, so here we got a familiar face. We got James, the caller kid, and a fellow Lost Cryptid member. What's up, James? How's it going?
I'm good. I've been just listening to your stream for like an hour.
You were listening to it for an hour? You should have jumped on, man.
No, I was letting you guys have a conversation. I can't always be on, you know.
No, you should have came on, and who knows where the conversation would have led. You know, that's always the unique part of having more people on here. But yeah, that was Pat Turner. He does Squatch Talk. Has a live show like every Tuesday and Fridays. A little bit more sometimes, but
I was waiting to see if anyone else would join, but they didn't, so that's why I'm here.
no, everyone's being a little scared, cat. Even come on. You guys don't even have to show your face. If you guys want to come on here, you can actually just stop your camera. You don't have to show your face, although, you know, everyone likes to visually see people as they're talking, and especially if you're telling a story, it would really be more better to show your face if you're going to tell an encounter, because certain people like to get a feel of how of your body language, how you present yourself, and what you do as you tell the story. Because there's sometimes some BS artists out there, but
I heard you just went through some audio. Where was this audio
so what's up,
from?
James? We didn't get nothing though.
Yeah, but what is it? The one I have, or was
So-
it something else?
No, this was something else.
Okay.
This was I think it was Southeast Michigan actually, and I started listening to one of the ones from Florida again, just in case I might have missed something. But
Okay.
I don't know. There's a lot of tapping sounds, which could be a number of things. But
Are you
Not
talking about like
anything good.
Ernie's area?
yeah, I think it was
Are you talking-
either there or right around there. I'm not exactly.
Are you talking
sure
about the?
audio was.
Are you talking about the one person we don't want to talk about's area?
Definitely not his. No.
Okay.
No. I don't know. If I lose signal and stuff, guys, it is kind of raining pretty hard and it's actually windy.
Yeah,
So maybe.
Yeah, it was. You were breaking up a little bit there and lagging a little bit.
So I apologize. It's probably why I can't do the things I want to do on here, like download this other video to show Pat, but it's still stuck on loading and whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was raining pretty bad earlier here too, so I completely understand.
That is more on the way.
My
If I'm
power
gonna
actually
get
went
that
out
for-
for like 5 minutes.
Oh man, hopefully
Yeah,
that doesn't happen.
hopefully it doesn't
to me.
happen. We don't have to talk about Bigfoot if you don't want to. We could talk about something else.
The only thing I was going to bring up is, we're planning to go out on a little expedition here soon, and maybe talk about that a little bit. But if you have another subject you want to talk about, by all means, James, bring it up and we'll discuss it.
I'm trying to remember what the heck I was listening to. I'm not sure. Oh, I think it was might be in this live stream even. No. Give me a minute. Let me think here.
All right. Well, yeah. Me, James, and Tyler, 3 members of the Lost Cryptids, are actually going to be doing some winter camp out expeditions, and going to be roughing it in the snow. It might not be snowy, who knows? But be roughing it in some cold weather for sure, and hopefully getting some evidence of Sasquatch. Hopefully, we get actually encounters happening and filming it for you guys. We'll be trying to pull out all the stops, having audio, videos going. We'll actually be going out there, camping in a pretty rough spot. Whether it's, raining, snowing, blizzard, I mean, we're going to be out there. I don't know if I'm going to bring a tent yet. I might just sleep right next to the fire with a tarp right overhead.
Sounds horrible.
I
think you should bring a
tent. Have that fire.
No,
nice
if you
and
don't bring
warm.
a tent, I'll have one that'll have no space if you just want to come in and join us.
Yeah,
I think
mean,
it's a
I might bring
4-person
a tent. I
tent,
don't
but
know.
it-
It depends. I mean,
I think it's a
But,
4-person tent, but it can have three people in it. So
right. It just depends on how cold and how the weather acts, honestly. Because if it's, only like 30 degrees out, I'll pitch a tent. You don't need to be next to a fire. But if it's like, 20, 14 degrees out, close to 0, I'm going to be sleeping next to the fire. I'm going to be keeping warm all night. I'm not going to be freezing in my tent with some blankets on.
you don't got a good
It's
sleeping
going to be
bag.
interesting. It'll be fun. Hopefully we get some stuff. Hopefully we can get some tracks that we find,
Do you got a good sleeping bag?
Oh. Yeah, I got it's a mummy bag. It's rated to, I can't remember what it's rated to. It's rated to at least like freezing and I think a little bit less.
That's
So yeah, it should keep you warm and it's gonna be fun. Good fun experience. And did you remember what the thing you wanted to talk about was?
I know what it is. I just don't remember where I learned it from. I was gonna. Yeah, I wanted to talk about skinwalkers. I remember where I recently saw information about them, but have you heard of a Skinwalker Ranch?
Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch. It's pretty famous. Yeah.
Is that like all real? Everything that happens there? Or what do you believe? I should ask.
I think that there's been some credible stuff that's happened there that it seems pretty unexplained by people who seem pretty honest. The history of it, I mean, there's weird stuff going all the way back to where basically that was first like homesteaded and found, really. So I mean, I do think it's just one of these weird spots that the stuff does happen. I have not watched the shows or anything like that. So I couldn't give an opinion on that, but from what I've seen clips of, you know, it's a mixed bag. You know, obviously it's going to be entertainment. It has to be entertainment if it's going to be on TV. But you know, maybe they actually are trying to get stuff, and they actually have potential stuff. But when you have a TV show and they're telling you that, you know, you got to say this, and maybe there's nothing happening, you know, that's entertainment too. So I think that there's probably some weird stuff going on there, but I don't know.
Trying to think of the video I saw that was like about it.
Well, you know, the area.
That's what it was. I was watching your conference and Steve brought up skinwalkers. That's what it was. Because I remember it was like an hour-long video. I was like listening. It was like a really good, like a
presentation that he gave.
Presentation, yeah.
Yeah, that was Steve Ward, and he is a. I think most people would know him as a Mothman kind of an expert. He's really big in the Mothman field, I guess you would say, and he does a lot of stuff. He's into UFOs and Bigfoot and all sorts of high strangeness. So he has a wealth of knowledge and a lot of stuff that is important to listen to. But yeah, the skinwalkers.
Yeah, I think
supposedly
briefly brought it up, and then I like looked it up, and I watched a couple of videos on the ranch.
Yeah. Oh, basically they're just Native American shamans or witches or witchcraft, I guess you would say. Typically depicted as evil people who have to do an evil act or evil acts, and then they put on animal skins and transform into animals and stuff, and they're more evil witchcraft people. You also have Native American stories who tell of shamans who do the same thing, but they're not necessarily on the evil side. You also have stories of dog soldiers, which were supposedly Native Americans who transformed into wolves or skinwalkers and were considered good and helped fight some of the white people, but also fought in wars and tried to help their people. So there's kind of a mixed bag, but generally Skinwalker is depicting an evil person who's doing witchcraft and transforming, and a lot of the natives believe that, you know, it brings evil stuff and they can put curses on you and mimic your name, like your mommy's calling you, and sound exactly the same. So especially the more Southwest Native Americans, they believe the skinwalkers are more evil entity. And they literally say, you'd have to do some pretty awful things to the people you love the most to be able to even get these powers, is what they claim. And if you look at a lot of other cultures, when they talk about some of this evil stuff and these evil powers and what some of these people have to do to get these powers, it's along the same lines of killing your mother or your wife or your kids and stuff like that. It's very, very brutal, very evil stuff. So it's fascinating.
At that point, once they do that,
there's a lot of cultures that have the same kind of things. No, exactly. It's once you're at that far point, there is no going back. You're part of that group or that evil sect or whatever. But again, some of the good stories of these dog soldiers who were transformed and would fight, not necessarily evil. Sometimes it's just a cultural tradition that they learn, not nothing evil. But again, we don't know. We don't have people who are transforming into doing this in front of us and then saying, well, this is how I do it and this is what I have to do and blah blah blah. There was what was that documentary called? I think it was Doug Hijack. It was Bigfoot Meets Science, the first one. I can't remember exactly what it was called.
Bigfoot Meets
It was
World.
on the History Channel. It was a bunch of reputable scientists and stuff coming together and analyzing Bigfoot and the Patterson film and stuff like that. There was one gentleman, I can't remember his name, but he thought that Sasquatch, or majority of these reports, could have been Native American shamans who were to become a shaman and do some of these things, that they would be off on their own, gathering and eating of the forest. And some people randomly see them and think that they're Sasquatches because they're donned with animal furs and they're in some of these, crazy wild places. And he gave the theory that there was a lot of Native Americans in the woods becoming shamans, and that, that's what they did, maybe secretly, or I think maybe it's possible for maybe some to do that, but not everyone is doing that, not in the variety and level to be considered as that's what people are seeing. But there could be traditional Native American people who have learned the ways of their elders and who do become shaman and are out there in the boonies doing what they're doing. And if maybe someone's seen them with animal clothes, they might say it was a Sasquatch.
It was a legend.
Legend meets science. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. That was a good show. Be interesting to see the second one when it finally comes out.
Was that recent or?
I think I have heard. I think he's working on it. They're working on it.
No, I meant the first one.
The first one has been out for 10 years or more. 2000 something. It was back when the History Channel started making Monster Quest, and then once that got all popular, then they came out with a show that was on the History Channel, Legend Meets Science. So. I think when you get into the skinwalker stuff, it opens it up, and then you start getting into, the ghosts and all that stuff. And it leads down to a rabbit hole of all that.
I just wasn't sure exactly what they were. I knew there were something that walk in like a different skin that wasn't their own. I just didn't know what they were.
Well, yeah, just generally it's an evil Native American shaman or witchcraft person who is evil. I mean, that's kind of what skinwalkers mean. But in every Native American tribe, there's other tribes who have different traditions and different viewpoints of how they view the world. So just because one tribe says Sasquatch is a giant hairy cannibal that devours Indians and is a mountain devil, you have other tribes who say he's an elder brother tribe who is the guardian of the forest or a spiritual guardian that works between the two worlds, who's more who's not evil, he doesn't cannibalize the natives of that area, but in other areas, they're demons. So there's a lot of varieties when it comes into Native American stories and culture and tribes and exactly areas and stuff. I mean, I think that gets kind of generalized as, oh, Native Americans say this about Sasquatch. Well, it's like, what tribe are you talking about? What area are you talking about that's happening? Because there's a bunch of tribes in that area. There's different cultures. So,
well, basically, I just wanted to. What was it? The presentation by Steve Ward. He didn't really even talk about Mothman. He brought it up once, but he was mostly talking about Bigfoot and other weird things. He was mostly going into the woo side.
right.
He even brought up aliens too.
It was a Bigfoot conference, but
yeah, I got that.
Yeah, that room was more of the woo room, as we called it. It's more of a paranormal side to Bigfoot because there are Bigfoot experiences that are paranormal, it seems like, and there's some pretty reputable people who have integrity that are experiencing these paranormal Bigfoot aspects. We've experienced orbs in the same areas as Bigfoot. We don't know if they're related. We're not saying we are, but there's some odd things that we've experienced alongside the same areas as Bigfoot. So we had two speakers going at the same time, and in that room, the woo room, they talked about more paranormal and stuff like that. Shatan, she's gonna be the next speaker that video I'm gonna drop. She talks about the Great Lakes region and like prehistoric lake monsters and stuff, and she does talk about Bigfoot a little bit, but she talks a little bit more about lake cryptids and Great Lakes cryptids around and prehistoric animals that could potentially be alive and stuff. She has pretty good presentation, a little bit of Bigfoot on that, but that's what the crowd wants. It's not in the video, but I cut it out. But in between speakers, she asked the crowd if they wanted to hear about the Bigfoot stuff or this other stuff, and the crowd went with the sea creatures. So, which is fascinating.
I mean, if it's interesting enough, like you want to hear about more of it,
Well, it also shows that the Great Lakes region in Michigan, it's a pretty unique place. We have more than just one cryptid of we have more than just Bigfoot here. And
well, yeah,
I think it's pretty awesome that she actually talked about that because it just it opens up your mind more that there's more out there than just Bigfoot, And the Great Lakes are very old, very deep, and used to be a lot easier to get to the ocean from the Great Lakes than it is now. But we do know that there has been cases of sharks actually coming and swimming up to the Great Lakes and other sea type of fish and animals.
Wait, really?
We do know that bull sharks have made it up here.
Wait, really?
Yeah, bull sharks. Yeah,
I swam in those waters.
Well, they don't get there.
I know they don't
now.
come to the
There's
surface,
dams
but
set up through the St. Lawrence River. I mean, there's a bunch of dams and stuff and locks, and there's a lot of obstacles now. But we have records of bull sharks swimming up the Mississippi, swimming a very long way up the Mississippi River, actually, from the ocean.
yeah, it's pretty far. Yeah.
And so the Great Lakes used to be like that too. And they, it's speculation. It's theorized that there was other stuff that got into these Great Lakes. Maybe they're still in here, or. So it was very interesting presentation. So that's the next one that's going to be dropping here, here in a couple of days. Maybe we'll do another on Tuesday night or something. I don't know, whenever I feel like it, I guess. So that will be the next one. So it was a great presentation, and I'm glad you liked Steve Ward one too. He was a great guy. I'm gonna have him back on the show again. We already interviewed him.
I didn't know who he was at all, so it was pretty good to listen
Steve
to somebody
Ward,
I didn't know.
I call him. He's really known for more of the Mothman stuff, but he dives into high strangeness and UFO stuff and Bigfoot, obviously.
Yeah, he went over a few stories about weird paranormal things. Like one guy, like he was driving down the road with his hunting buddies, and his car just stopped all of a sudden, and he saw a Bigfoot to the left of him, basically, out in a field. And then it happened again. Except they blew his engine up or something.
Right, and exactly that's kind of why we had that more paranormal side of Bigfoot speakers going on. Because people who are reputable, who have integrity, like Steve, have experienced stuff. I mean, we've kind of experienced some stuff. Is it Bigfoot related? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We don't really know. We're not saying it is, but we have experienced a few weird things while Bigfooting. So it's just to keep one's mind open and not so shut out to things. The woo side gets a bad rep because there's a lot of crazy kooks on that side who claim a bunch of stuff that is just normal people think is impossible. Portals and all this and all that. But there's some things that are out there that maybe we should look into a little bit more. Because I've seen an orb. I don't know, about 10 minutes after we got a call that we recorded, and about another 5 minutes after seeing the orb, me and you, I seen something hide behind a tree, and I sent you after it. And then
I didn't see nothing though.
No, you didn't see it, but I sent you after.
I went pretty far in there too.
You did. At the same time, the other group who's with us is hearing stuff, having stuff thrown at them, and they're kind of freaking out a little bit. So an orb was seen after and before certain events of stuff, but we can't say, and not going to say it's Sasquatch. Definitely it's not, I'm not going to say it's a Sasquatch floating in the orb, but, we kind of did see an orb in the area where there was Sasquatch, and pretty close time frame of activity too. But I personally think that's two separate things going on in the same area until I can prove otherwise.
And there was another thing he talked about too. I want to know your opinion on. I'm not sure if you listened to it or whatnot, but he said there was a story of two Bigfoots out in a field that had green glowing eyes, and that they I don't know what the word is exactly, but they made people sick. Three investigators sick plus one guy, to the point where he was falling over, and then when he was not sick anymore, he didn't remember any of it. He started acting crazy and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where,
but they were saying it wasn't what's it called? EMF. Yeah, they said it wasn't EMF, but I'm not sure what they said it was.
Like being zapped and stuff. They said it
Yeah.
wasn't being zapped.
Yeah, they said it wasn't zapped.
Val has a few data points of people getting sick with Sasquatches close by, and one of them is, a Sasquatch touched a person, and that person got very sick, and there's some natural things that could do that. If you look more of the natural aspects, is we don't ever get close to these things to touch, so they could have diseases, just like we definitely have diseases that, if it applies to them, it's going to mess them up pretty good. They have the potential to have diseases that could affect us in ways that we don't know about. We do know that there's stuff that gorillas and chimps carry that can affect us, and vice versa. But yeah, it seemed like it was a little bit more than, it's paranormal stuff. We don't know exactly what's going on to make some of these people sick. I've been close to people who've got sick in the woods, and there was some red eye shine that people seen, and this person was all confused. I don't know exactly what was going on, but yeah, that person did get sick. No one else got sick. We didn't hear nothing, didn't feel nothing. So we just can't explain it, really. A lot of stuff we just don't know about them yet. I mean, regardless if they got all these woo powers or not, I mean, we don't know crap about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great presentation. I'm glad a lot of people are enjoying it. I'm very glad. Steve's a great guy and did a great job.
Your phones can get hacked.
What?
By paranormal. Uncle Bones says on their show their phones were getting hacked. Wait.
I think he's talking about
at Skinwalker. Yeah. Okay.
I think their phones were getting hacked, and one time a cow died for no reason. Yeah, there was one interesting story where there was a bull that got somehow this bull got into this super small container and it was stuck in there. Like no one really knows how it got in there and how you would even get a 2,000-pound bull into this little container like it was without it like killing you or destroying it. It's pretty weird. I found that story to be pretty interesting. But getting your phones hacked and all that, I mean, that's the government can do that. I mean, they do monitor the Bigfoot world. There's been several sources who claim and say that. Yeah, they monitor and they watch and they keep track of people and doing what the government does, basically.
Yep, just like at our conference.
Well, when you have, I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the Bigfoot community that I think a lot of people don't realize, and the government is definitely in the Bigfoot community, with multiple people, I would say. Yeah. From my own personal experience and other stuff I've heard from people I would think are honest, that there's plants for sure. There's people are monitoring the situation. There's trolls, there's shills, there's people probably getting into groups just to disrupt the groups. There's a bunch of stuff going on. And it's kind of crappy. Obviously, there's more to hide than just oh, there's a giant monkey out in the woods, woo. Must be something pretty hardcore about it if they're going to this level to spy on these little, our redneck Bigfoot community and stuff like that. Like,
Well, it just means
that's
that
what
it
I
would
think. But come on, man. I mean, like, if it was just an animal, I don't think they would put that level of dedication into doing all of what they're doing, censorship. But not only that, but going into big community, trolling, shills, plants. Like, if it was just a dumb monkey out in the woods, why would they go through all that to do that?
Because
To
it
me,
goes
that doesn't
against
make sense.
religion and evolution, so they want to protect that.
Well, I
and-
mean, okay. It goes against
And-
religion. Well, I mean, there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to say, well, I mean, not really. It doesn't. I mean, or some people who don't care. I mean,
and maybe state parks endangered. I mean, I guess even if we did prove it, the public would never believe it, probably.
I think if the government told them it was real, they'd believe it, right?
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe some of them.
I'll tell you why. Because it's a national security reason. If it's
I'm just saying
national
some people don't
security
trust the
risk,
government anymore.
national security purposes, they will keep things under wrap. I mean, that's pretty much the number one job of government is national security, defense of our country. So there's a lot of stuff that is kept under, wraps and is behind a lot of tape because of that reasoning. So if that was the reasoning, well, why is it a national security risk? Why, exactly why? I don't think it's because of religion. I don't think it's because of lumber and tourist industry and all that. Like, no, I don't think so. I think there's a little bit more. They were human. Then you have a human rights issue going on. Human rights violation. Human rights. And now you have to grant to these people. That could be problematic. And it would raise a lot of ethical questions, morality. I mean, it would open up a lot. Maybe even, yes, the religious aspect of it, but it's just something they don't want you to know. And that is clear. So
It's classified.
yeah, it's whatever. It must be something big. Is what I'm gonna get at. So, all right, guys. Well, there's no one else joining the stream. Let's post the link one more time.
There's actually another thing I want to talk about. Do you know of Easter Island?
Easter Island, yeah.
And those weird sculptures or whatever they have down there.
Yeah, they're the
those heads, except that they go like 30 feet underground, apparently.
I was gonna say, they're not actually heads, they're actually full
Yeah,
body.
I saw a video recently.
Buried.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're buried, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they said I think the legend of those, the Maori is what the natives were called there. All these Polynesian sailors that came across and went on to all these islands and stuff. They said that those statues walked themselves to those spots.
Oh, really?
Some type of magic or
oh yeah, someone was saying
ancient
they
technology
had like,
we have no idea about.
Yeah, someone said they had telekinesis or something like that, and they were moving them with their mind, basically.
Well, okay, well, you get into that, and it's like, well, why didn't those people survive? Because
maybe they're aliens.
On that island, that island, they ran out of trees and stuff like that, and they supposedly they didn't do too good.
I just 30 feet, underground. It just didn't seem like, geez.
Very heavy. It's a complete mystery how they were actually made and how they were brought to those places.
And they're made of stone.
Yeah, the official narrative, the official story of scientists, they won't believe that the legends of the story of these stones walking into place. They won't ever believe that. But there's always truth into those stories, those legends, those Native American accounts, or those native accounts. There is some truth into some of these stories and stuff. If you believe the truth and stories of other cultures, European cultures, or religious aspects, if you believe that sort of stuff, well, how come you're not? When these other people and all these other cultures talk about some of their stuff, all of a sudden that's make believe. So, I think there's a lot more out there than we know about, and some of these legends from all these cultures should be taken maybe a little bit more seriously, because we're finding evidence that proves some of these stuff, like the city of Troy. That was thought to be a legend, made up a myth, but it was fact.
What are you talking about?
Troy, the city of Troy, the Trojan horse, the great Greek wars.
Greece. Okay.
For decades and decades, that was thought to be a myth. That was thought to be a legend, a fantasy, until it was actually found and proven to be real.
Was it buried?
Well, yeah, of course, it was buried and lost, and archaeologists they found it, and they're just proving a lot of stuff. There's a lot of historical inaccuracies. The official story says this, but the evidence that people find says something completely different. Like Roman swords in America and Roman coins in America. Bronze Age copper that was only found in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That only comes from that spot in the entire earth. It's only found there. But yet in Greece, some of these weapons and these Bronze Age armor, to make bronze, you have to take tin and copper and melt them together, and it makes bronze. Well, some of that copper that they've discovered in these bronze weapons comes from that only spot in the entire world, which is Michigan. It blows the official narrative right out of the water, but yet, we're supposed to believe
giants.
the official narrative.
Giants or aliens, pretty much the only way. Unless you have a boat going back and forth for years.
Yeah, boats. Big shipments, and is what they're theorizing, of course. If you want to get into ships and aliens and all that. There's certainly people that would think that, but ancient ships, ancient trade routes. It does. If you talk about it, talk about Atlantis and these civilizations that were, like the Tower. If I get religious, the Tower of Babel, and how all the people of the world spoke the same language, had traded with each other, and then they got separated and stuff. And there's stories like that, and some of the stuff we're finding kind of points to, there's trade going on between the old world and the new world of North America that for decades and decades, that for hundreds of years, they never thought that would ever happen. So we know the Chinese came to America. We know that Europeans came to America before Christopher Columbus. We know that there was the land bridge that happened several times. There was actually a land bridge coming from Europe, is what they theorized too. At some point, they're finding in Native American ancestries that there's some European stuff in there. They also recently found out that in Iceland, they had some Native American ancestry, which meant some Vikings went over and took some Native women and brought them back.
Oh,
because it's in there. It's in the blood. It's in the ancestry genetics. It's in the genetics, the DNA. So there's stuff that's coming to light that is proving to blow the official narrative out of the water, honestly. So it's a wonderful time we're living in. A lot of discoveries and a lot of awesome stuff. So hopefully Bigfoot can be part of this new discoveries, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hopefully
Not by
sooner rather
not by
than
scientists, though.
another 50 years. Hopefully not another 50 years. That would
It's probably already been proven, but the government doesn't want to come through and say it.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it is.
They're like,
It's
if you say
already.
if you say to anybody your career is over, pretty much. That's what would happen.
Well, yeah, especially if it's top secret.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in government and you learn that Bigfoot's real and now it's top secret, well, you sign an agreement saying that, if you violate this, you can go to jail, prison for basically the rest of your life, or especially if you get into all that and you're signing that stuff. I mean, you violate some of that stuff. I mean, the government owns your butt. They own you at that. I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of sign your life away when you work at some of those levels in government, especially the more secretive side. I mean, you marry into that stuff and you don't get out. You might retire, but you're not really ever out of the loop, and you are monitored, surveilled.
Yep.
All right. Well, chats in the links in the chat, guys.
Probably half hour at the most, but
If no one else comes on, we're gonna
wrap it up.
So, but hopefully someone comes on. I think we're gonna do more of this open mic night stuff. I think it'll be fun. It'd be fun if more people started joining, but I think it'd be fun to have it out there at least. Get some people on. Get some researchers to talk about their findings, their research. Yeah. So again, shout outs to Pat. Glad he came on and we had a nice discussion where we maybe didn't agree upon everything and still could walk away with it as friends and without any animosity or anything. I mean, that's just everyone has different thoughts and ideas. I mean, I have different thoughts and ideas than you. We don't agree on everything, so. Yeah.
Are you going on the next 68? Yes, he is. Hello, Don.
Yeah.
You want to come join us? Come talk to us. Ask us some questions.
Yeah, get some questions in the chat and stuff. Yeah, the next 168 I will be on, and it's going to be pretty intense. It's going to be work, not not a vacation. It's going to be work, and that's how I feel about it. I know that's what Carrie feels about it now, and when you go, we're going down there with a mission and a job to complete, and yeah, it's going to be fun. Of course, we're going to have a good time, but got to be serious to get your mind focused. And we're out there to try to get evidence of Sasquatch, hopefully get an encounter, hopefully film an encounter happening. And put the work in and try to get something. So, yes.
When are we gonna have Carrie on here?
No, I gotta ask him, I guess.
I didn't know if it was an option. I was just joking.
Oh yeah, it's an option. Well, he works in the oil field. He works 5 to 7 days a week, and then when he's off, especially if he goes sees his family. I mean,
He works on an oil field.
Yeah, he works in the oil field, like not in the oil field, but in the industry.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll mention to him if you want to. We'll get him on. We'll make it happen.
I don't really know much about him, so I just watch his streams every now and then.
Yeah, had a pretty intense encounter, and it's one of the ones where he's the type of guy who's able to tell a story really great, and I think it resonates with a lot of people to hear him tell his encounter and how he used to be, really big hunter and hunted this place for 7 years and was having Bigfoot activity where he thought it was odd stuff, but he thought it was a buck or pigs, or always
Bear.
chalked it up to something natural, something that's just not Bigfoot until he seen one walk out and freaked him out, scared him to death, to the point where
was he up in
doesn't
like
go
a
hunting
blind
anymore.
or?
Huh?
Was he in a tree stand, a blind?
He was in a ground natural blind, a natural blind he made on the ground. I'll send you the link to his story that he tells it. It's actually the Bigfoot Odyssey documentary number. I think it's number 3, but it's his own encounter basically. I'll throw you a link after this.
All right.
Take a listen to that. He goes into it. He's actually on site and explaining it and stuff, and it's pretty good. And you can learn about his encounter, and then
does he work? Does he work on like fixing the oil machines and stuff like?
No,
pumps?
he actually, I believe he has his own company with some other people, but I believe I don't know exactly what his title is, but he is like a on-site tester, manager, supervisor type of thing. Like he's
okay. Because people that go out in those remote areas that fix the oil pumps sometimes have some weird stuff happen to them. So I was thinking that's when he had his encounter, but you told me not. So
no. This was not job related.
Well, it looks like no
he's
one
a great
wants to
guy.
join us.
Honestly, he's a pretty stand-up guy, and meeting him in person and stuff, he's a pretty good guy. He actually does do the work. He might be a little skittish to go out in those woods, but once you get him out there, he's pretty good and definitely driven in this, and doing a lot of good stuff, a lot of putting on a lot of stuff that a lot of people we should be doing more. We should be doing bigger expeditions and inviting researchers from all across the U.S. and actually putting together stuff that actually is trying to get some evidence.
Yeah, we should invite Jim Sherman to the next one. And Tyler's been having a conversation with him apparently. So
Jim Sherman is a great guy. I don't know if he'll go to Florida though. It's a little different.
No, not Florida. I meant like to one of our Michigan ones.
Oh yeah. Jim Sherman, yeah, for sure. There's a couple spots and stuff I'd like to take a few people. Yeah, actually, we are going to have more of an open kind of camp out that we're going to invite some people to, definitely. And we got some great spots picked out. More on that as the next year arrives. We're going to invite more people. We're going to invite some researchers out and do a huge expedition if possible. It depends on who all wants to come out. It might just be me and James. It might just be me. Or we could have some great researchers show up, but we're going to put the open invitation out. We have Bigfoot here in Michigan. We have some pretty good places. We've experienced some stuff, and there's open invitation for actual researchers to come on out, and hopefully we can experience stuff together and get evidence of it and get to the bottom of it. So getting ready for this this expedition winter. survival camp out is in a month, and I'm preparing. I would suggest that you prepare too, James. Working out, getting equipment ready. People laugh at me the working out part, but like, it's just gonna do so much. It's gonna make you do so much less effort if you just work out and build yourself out, and then you can go out there and you can hike for miles and miles and do all this, and your body's kind of prepared for that shock instead of going out there cold turkey and it's like, I've been a couch potato for half the year. Now I'm going to go walk miles and miles and go through this and up hills and down. And I'm going to be outside for 14 hours. And slow down there, cowboy. You might sprain an ankle or throw your back out.
Ah, jeez. I'll be fine.
No, I know you're young and spry, but like, well, we are winter camping, and so there is potential to get into a pretty survival situation if we have a blizzard, the car doesn't start up, we're stuck out there. I mean,
that's why you bring a shovel.
The shovel.
You get if wheels get stuck under the snow,
Well, yeah, maybe might get too cold, battery might die. Could be the potential there's a potential that we actually would have to spend the night or a couple nights out there, or have a blizzard potentially. Might have to walk out, find civilization just to
I'm pretty sure if there's internet connection out there, so I mean we wouldn't be stranded, but
well, of course there's some cell reception. Of course, it's not too remote, but again, sometimes.
I mean, yes, if our batteries in our phones did die, yes, we would have to walk. And the car battery didn't start or something like that,
Yeah, I'd be walking out, and it's good training. It's good. Good research that needs to be done in winter. A lot of people, researchers say, well, it's too cold out. I'm not going to go out. And I love this one. They go away during winter. They're not around here during winter. Is that because you don't go out and look, or is that because for a fact that they're not there? Like,
that's a straight up lie.
I know. Just say it's too cold and you don't like to go out there, man.
Lightning just struck on sight.
Oh dang! Yeah, it stopped here. So
thunder's coming. Oh geez.
You got more coming. But I love winter. I love the snow. I love the way the forest looks when it's a crap load of snow and everything's just like a winter wonderland. Like, it looks magical. It looks awesome. I enjoy that, whether I'm Sasquatching or hunting or just out in the woods. And it's great prime time to research. There's tracks that you should be able to find and follow. It's the whole thing. If you have stuff happening to you, tracks, you should be able to see through the trees, no foliage. You can, depending on the snow, it can be louder or it can dampen sound too, depending on how fresh the snow and how fluffy it can actually absorb sound. So I think winter's a great time to go out and research because they are out there. They are out there 24/7 in all types of weather, and they're doing their thing. So, what are they doing during winter? Are they possibly semi-hibernating or semi-staying put in an area with a bunch of food cached up. Stuff that needs to be answered. So I'm excited for it. Can't wait. Going to be awesome. And we'll be doing some pretty fun stuff this year. So
I don't think anyone else is joining us.
I don't think so. No. And that's okay, guys. You know, we're gonna be plenty of other shows for this open mic stuff. We encourage, anyone who wants to come on, be friendly, respectful, of course, no swearing, and other than that, we'll be fine. Yeah. So there's some stuff waiting in the wings that waiting to show you guys, but we just gotta wait. 2 more months. 2 more months, and
What
you're gonna
about
get some more stuff.
Oh, that's weird. What about the presentations from Shatan?
That will be this week. This next week, I guess. This week, next week. After the weekend, sometime it will drop, and then they'll be coming out pretty regularly after that. What does that say? What's your ghost?
Hold on, we fixed it.
Your ghost detector thing?
It says phantom.
Phantom, huh?
I've never gotten that word before.
I don't know.
I don't know if I don't see a ghost. Maybe it means I'll see one later, which I hopefully not.
I don't know. I might listen to Phantom of the Opera, a metal song written by, do you know?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
All right, who in chat knows who sings the Phantom of the Opera? The metal song by...
I might have heard it before.
Someone has to be able to know it. There might not be enough people in chat to answer that question.
Or you might be watching Danny Phantom later,
All right, they did. I'll drop a few more from that album. Phantom of the Opera. I don't know if that was on the same album.
Iron Maiden.
Genghis Khan.
Is Iron Maiden one?
Yeah, he got it. Yeah, you are correct.
I'm guessing it's an old school band.
That is all. Yeah, I mean they're pretty old now. Boy, they sure can rock out, and that's an awesome song. If you watch that, if you listen to that song on YouTube, make sure you watch the old video with the original singer singing it. Even though Bruce is great, awesome singer now. Like that original song being sung is awesome. Is sweet. So yeah.
Still touring apparently.
Oh yeah. Well, they just came out with some new stuff, new album, new music. I mean, they're
what band?
Iron Maiden.
Oh, that's the band. Okay, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they got 3 guitarists, an awesome bass player. I love the bass, so like an awesome bass player who can shred it. Great singer, amazing drummer. Like, yeah, they are one of my favorites. Band to play. I love playing their songs on the bass.
Let's see here.
So yeah.
Oh, 1975. Good old 70s band.
No, they were more like metal, early metal.
Oh. Probably still heard of some of their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they were big. Like when Metallica was big, they were big. Yeah, I mean, they do some of the biggest shows, like Rock to Rio, when they went down to South America. That was a massive show that they did. They fly their own jet plane around, so they go anywhere they want. Pretty cool band and awesome live performance. So, yeah. That's what I'm going to be listening to right after the show. I think we're going to pop that music on. I got to let the dog out, and then I might work on a few things on the computer.
If your power doesn't go out.
I don't think this place, at the old place, I would say maybe, but this place is pretty good. So yeah. I might play the bass. I don't know. I might have to put the headphones on and play the bass. I missed my acoustic one. I wish I never would have sold that, but I had a nice acoustic bass guitar, and
You sold it for how much?
well,
It wasn't worth it. I got it.
I paid $150 for it, and I sold it for $100. So it wasn't too bad of a loss, but at the time I needed the money, and family comes first.
Yeah.
Although now I can't buy it back, so I was like,
I'll get sell it to.
I sold it to a guitar place.
Oh no!
They want way too much. I'm not even gonna.
So you got ripped off.
No, I always figure there's better stuff out there. So. Although I wish I had it because I'd bring it on this Bigfoot and stuff. But
I don't think anyone else is joining.
Nope. That's okay though. There'll be other times.
See, now what you need is some like soundproof, phone behind you so that you could just stream all night. Not wake up your kids.
No, I mean they're pretty good. They're on the other side of the house. That'd be my girlfriend, but she doesn't mind. She only minds when she wakes up and I'm not next to her. Then she's like, come to bed. I can't go back to sleep because I don't have you to cuddle. It's like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to bed now, guys. All right, all right. Or just like when it's her bedtime.
It's your bedtime,
right? No, I'm just picking on her. I don't know if she's watching it. She usually catches the tail end of stuff. Sometimes if she's up but yeah, great. I'm very lucky to have the girlfriend I have and the family I have actually, and who they actually support me, and in my Bigfoot stuff, as goofy as it may seem. Yeah, we got some stuff planned for the future, so it's gonna be pretty awesome. So I'm gonna leave that a mystery, but let's just say I got the support of my woman, so we limits are
the sky is the limit.
Right?
Yep.
Once your girl is behind your back, you can go far. But no, we got some stuff planned, and yeah, pretty cool stuff. So
all right,
I'm hoping to get her on here. Actually, she has a number of different stories to tell of ghosts, paranormal ghost stuff, but also of when me and her seen the wolf cross in front of our car and then run like a person in the field. So I'm trying to get her on to tell that story, but she's camera shy.
Just tell her it's not on, and then just do it.
Yeah, well, she's a Spitfire, and she's not gonna do anything she don't want to do. That's for sure. But she supports me, and that's awesome because I'm able to do a lot more stuff. Just having that support is awesome. And there's some researchers out there, their partner probably laughs at them and thinks it's a joke, but
when are we gonna do this again?
We do this late show we typically try to do it
Friday or Saturday.
but it's Friday or Saturday, and I don't give notice. I don't set a week like it's the day of because dad life, kids, and all this other schedule. Like it has to be. Sometimes planning stuff a week before, a couple of days before, it doesn't pan out because stuff changes on the fly, especially when you have kids. So I would say next weekend, next Friday or Saturday.
Usually around 11 because it's a late show.
Yeah, we do the late show now, so kids are in bed, and that's a lot easier.
Well, 11 ESP.
And toddlers.
I mean Eastern time.
Yes, Eastern time, and we run usually lately 3 hours at least.
We have gotten to 4 twice.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to end the show. My little one is up, and I got to take care of that. Yeah, we'll be on next week. I'll drop the another speaker here in a couple days. You guys can look out for that. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. And tell your friends about us. Spread our channel and stuff. We're trying to bring awareness and a more serious approach to the boots on the ground aspect in the Bigfoot community. So,
Leave a like if you enjoyed as well. It helps.
He's found me. That means. Anyways, guys.
Hurry up and edit. Hurry.
No, I was gonna say if he wants to make an appearance, but I don't know. Here, ask her. Let's show him. Give me a second. All right, guys, we're gonna have a little special guest for this late evening. All right, here is my future Squatch partner. His name is Archer. See him right here? There's James.
Hi.
This is my little terrorizing monstrosity. Nickname is Dennis the Menace because he is such the menace. I love him so much though. But so yeah, thank you everyone for watching the show. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support and appreciate your time that you take to watch all of this. We're going to try to bring you great content, informative discussions, and a great time. So, catch us next week. We'll do another open mic here sometime soon. Until then, we'll see you guys later on the other side. Take it easy, everyone.